So today I'm doing a quick series on how this ecosystem works and how to bring people to you in a much smoother way, so that you don't have to keep selling at them as well. So it's a little bit complicated. There's two more before this, so go find them. There should be a link there. Okay, so right now we've gone through why we do this, from people who are not ready to buy to bring them to you, because obviously the 2 to 3% of people who are actually looking to buy in this moment in time, they're very expensive to target with ads. Everybody's targeting those people. So we're thinking about the 97 to 98% of people who are looking. They're thinking about it. They're thinking about your type of service. They're mulling it over. Like the most of us, we tend to consider something and then the idea will be put on the back burner as such, and the idea will keep popping up and we'll keep seeing things. And if you're the person who keeps popping up in front of them, who are they going to choose if what you show is what they're looking for? If your service is relevant and they feel they connect with you because they can see that you know what you're doing and you know how to help them, who's going to think of when the time comes to get the money out of their pocket because they've been paid enough and they've paid all their debts off or bills or whatever, or tax. Okay, so in the last video, we've shown you how to build a warm audience in a very brief way. Okay, we've got more depth on that if you want to know more. But once you've got a warm audience of people, and it's just over 1,000, you can actually start doing the magic part of this now. So you've got people all in a pool on a social media platform. I choose Facebook most of the time simply because it's the cheapest place and it's really easy to read KPIs, and anyone could do it if they're interested. If they're not interested in doing that part, we can do it for them. And I love helping people with this. It's so different to anything else I've ever seen that it's exciting. I've actually stopped being retired because this is something I really want to get out there. Okay, should really mention the fact that I've learned this from �ឡ𝗲𝗿𝗶𝗴𝗵𝗁, so go look her up too. And the point is though, you've got a warm audience of people. Okay, they're not like just to come to you just because it keeps in your face. You actually have to do something more than that, which is you want to retarget them. Okay, so there's two ways of doing this. One is you can actually do a special type of, well, it's actually just boosting. It's actually putting this audience in your social media manager and making sure that your little videos that you're making go to them. But there's a little bit more to it than that. These tend to go out for £9 or £10. Okay, over 3 days. And there's a little nuance to that too. It's like you can actually test for a very, very low cost what your ideal warm audience of people who've been attracted to you because they're thinking of your service. You can actually test this over 90 days to see what they really wanted to see. Okay, because we tend to see things from our perspective. Okay, but the majority of the time, okay, my microphone here, so my case now, the majority of the time, what we think that people need as a service provider isn't what they're looking for at all right now, even if we had the problem that we're now providing the service for. Things change all the time. So it's really important to actually test. And the cheapest way I found of testing is actually create an audience of the people who want your service, who are looking for it, and then test little tiny ads, which you kind of like think that that's what they want to see or want to know about, busting beliefs you think they've got. Pop them in front of the audience you've just built, okay? And then after 90 days, 3 months, 90 days to data, okay, you can see which ones performed well and see if people watch them. And we can do that just by looking at the KPIs. We can show you how to do that. That's really cool. In fact, I'll do another video on that too. But the point of this is that if people are actually looking and thinking of your service, if you're consistent, because consistency, this is nothing new, okay? I'm not telling you anything new here. Everybody knows that consistency is the way to go. If you're doing this and you're spending money on audiences, especially if you've got the funnel running, you never want to stop, okay? But another thing that's really important right now is what to put in front of people. Because just getting random like Canva posts with "I'm happy, it's Monday." One of my favorites is like Chinese New Year. Nothing wrong with Chinese New Year, okay? Okay, and it's Easter. So what? Everyone knows it's Easter and stuff, okay? all these random things. I don't know about you. I remember when I first started, I remember getting a free lead magnet of a whole year's type of content post, okay? And I looked and went, why? Why would I want to fill my Facebook business page with the same ideas that every other person who's running a business is doing also? And nothing against people who are doing Canva. It's brilliant because it keeps things ticking over. But if everybody's doing it, if every single person's doing the same thing and everybody copies each other, because they do, unfortunately, especially the more it's out there, the more people copy, how is it going to differentiate you from anybody else? Why would anyone come to your business over the other person's business who does the same service if you're doing the same type of thing? It makes no sense. What a waste of energy, okay? But can you imagine instead that you were thinking of your audience of people, and let's say that you know that something's going to be happening, you know it's a time of year for something that happens to them specifically, you know that they have a specific type of problem, you have a testimonial of somebody who's just come through your service, who you solved that problem for. Can you imagine the difference of having very specific, personalized posts, whether that be written or a photograph with written is even better? But I'm going to tell you, and you know what I'm going to say, video. Video is key right now because nobody can copy you. Actually, I'm going on a training in about half an hour to show me how someone could doppelganger me using AI, okay? And I'm paid for this because I want to see what's happening in the world. I like to keep up to date, but I'm curious to see how well it works, okay? Now, I actually want it to work because I know that the majority of the people who work with me are really busy, and the last thing on their minds, in fact, the least thing they want to do most of the time is record a video. And I need 3 videos a week for this to work really, really well if I want them to get results, okay? Now, for the majority of people, doing video 3 times a week is a nightmare, and people build up in their heads and stuff. If we were calling our best friend by video, though, we wouldn't think twice about it, and that's what I try and get people to think of. We're actually helping people by doing this. But the point is this, consistency, but also personality. You want to personalize your own content, and you also want to do something else as well. You've got to remember that this warm audience, you're going to have people who kind of know you already, they've seen you around, but you're also going to have a lot of people up there who also know other people in the industry, and they're weighing up you against them, okay? So you're probably going to need to bust some false beliefs with this. And this is where stealth influence comes in, okay? Now, I learned stealth influence from this amazing mentor of my mentor called 𝗥𝗶𝗴𝗵𝗁. And if you can actually learn how to use stealth influence, then you'll find you no longer have to sell anymore, because people will think it's their idea to come and get what you've got, okay? And then you don't have to do the sales anymore, okay? So, but that takes a bit of practice and time. I can do this for you, by the way, if you want. I can actually help you with that. It takes a bit of time though. So right now, the main point of this particular video is to be able to retarget your warm audience of people which you've built from the last video. Remember that they're already looking or thinking of your type of service. Remember that if you don't stay in front of them, other people will. Some little punk on TikTok, my mentor says, will be doing this instead of you. You can do this with little ads and posts. Okay, you can test like £9 or £10 over 3 days. After 90 days, okay, you have enough data. That's not bad, is it? You have enough data to see what your audience actually responded to. So you can make more of the things they responded to and less of the things they don't. Don't give up testing the other things, but just do less of them, okay? And the whole ecosystem, as it's called, just becomes stronger because you get to learn what your ideal audience actually wants to see, what they're responding to right now, what their problems are. And then obviously off the back of that, people will contact you. And if you can also, as a bonus, use stealth influence, if you don't like sales, this is a winner because you don't have to do sales scripts. I actually have another alternative if you haven't quite got to the point where you've got enough stealth influence built up, because this builds trust. It's absolutely incredible. I watched it work on myself and went, I need to learn that. So I did. Just incredible. But I actually have what we call case framework. Okay. And this is really useful if you're in between getting this whole ecosystem set up and you don't like sales right now. Okay, you don't like sales. If you hate sales, this is magical. As long as you've got to be good at what you do, though. Okay, you've got to know your subject. You've got to be an expert at what you do, because without that, you can't do this. Okay, but this is just brilliant. This is like you go and have a meeting, really quick meeting, 15 minutes. And you collect data, you collect information about what they're looking for, and then you just go in and analyze that. Become an analyst, and then you will build a strategy based from the stuff you collected, and then you go back and you execute it with the person. It's like so personalized. Okay, this is not for people who want to make millions out of people just doing the same thing, by the way. This is for people who actually want to help people. So all of this is all part of a strategy that you can use. You can just use part of the strategy. If you've got like a one thing you sell and you're really good at selling one thing and you like doing sales as well, you could just go for building the audience of people who are thinking of what it is you sell. And then you could just boost posts to them, just to remind you there. Yeah. I've gone a bit deep because I've worked with a lot of coaches and course providers who need to actually explain what they do. And they find that right now it's hard. The old days of sales, just put up a sales funnel and people just flow through, kind of like a little bit broken at the moment because too many people doing it. I actually love the fact that people like Russell Brunson show people what they did and how much money they made, but they forget to mention the fact that they made lots of money because they were selling what it was they did, and then as soon as they start selling more of what they did to more people, of course the funnel system itself is going to break because there's only a certain amount of people who are going to want to buy that. Okay, and that's what's happened right now. You've got market saturation, and on top of that, everybody kind of knows, because even if they didn't buy it themselves, they're probably going to know somebody who did, and they would have heard the negativity of what happened. So that's what we call market complication. So I'd love to tell you about that too. That's when you get what we call a lead form ad. You know, if someone's giving you something for free right now, that they're going to take your data and they're going to either call you, start emailing you, or both, or even worse, and text you. And that's a marketing system. I know how to do that. I don't like doing it, so I don't. But I know that if someone's trying to sell something to you and they've paid money to get the data, they're going to jolly well make sure that they get back in front of you in every way possible. Okay? I love this because this is ethical. You're showing up in front of people, yes, but people can choose to watch if they want, or just scroll by. They can turn it off if they want to. Yeah. So they get to choose. And if you are giving value with the content you're putting out, that builds the trust, doesn't it? So all of this, I think, is, I'm going to call it ethical sales. I think I've just made up a new name for what it is I do. So if you're interested in learning more about this, okay, it's not complicated. Okay, it's not complicated. It's actually really obvious, and we know how to put this up. We can put this up, and we can set this up in a week for you. You just need to be able to record the videos. You can ask anyone who's worked with us. We got these, we work with you to actually create really specific personalized content. We get this all set up for you. And we tend to stick to Facebook. What we can do on we can do on LinkedIn, which is a bit more expensive to run ads. That's the only downside to other platforms. To do YouTube, again, more expensive to run ads. We can do it at TikTok. TikTok and Instagram, they're funny ones because they're only short videos. You have the audience on there. They don't tend to buy high ticket things because the state of mind people are in when they're switching through posts. It's a completely different audience if they're on YouTube or watching a Facebook video. It's really interesting to watch, but you can actually go see where your ideal audience is hanging out by just going to the different platforms and looking at the actual platform's data. They actually give you the information that you need to know if your audience is hanging out there. Okay, you can actually look at that. So back to basics though. Get a warm audience. We target those warm audience with low cost, very specific videos. Be consistent. Okay, make sure that you're using personalized content so that it's ideal for your warm audience. Make sure that you're putting out things that are relevant to them and helpful and valuable. Have some fun with that as well. Put some things out occasionally that are personable. Like maybe you're out walking the dog and just say, I'm out walking the dog and the sun's shining, or I'm out walking the dog and it's pouring with rain. Some of our best videos are when we've just been taking Bella out in her bicycle trailer. People love that kind of thing. Okay, so just make sure that it's relevant, but occasionally drop in so people can see the personality too. And then if you hate sales, you can use stealth influence. Okay, so that people come to you naturally. And if you are not quite at the stage where you can use stealth influence enough, we have the case framework where every time you meet with somebody from your ecosystem, you meet with them for a 15-minute call to collect very specific data. I give you less. You go and you analyze it, and you meet up usually about a day afterwards, to be honest. And less time is more if you've got time. And then you can show them the strategy that they're looking for. Look, I haven't even spelled it properly. To think I used to teach maths and English. That's terrible, isn't it? And then you can show them how to execute that strategy, or you can do it for them, or you pull together the people that they need to do the bits and pieces and yourself. So that is really, really powerful rather than selling at people. It actually avoids that thing of buyer's remorse, which, I don't know, you don't want that for people, do you? You're here to help people? Oh, yeah. Yeah, there you go. Any questions anytime? I promise you I won't chat as much as I did in this video, but you can come and ask very specific questions about what we do and what you can do for your own business right now. If you're looking for more clients, there's generally like one or two pieces of what we do right here that fit into what it is you're trying to achieve with what you've got already, okay? The only time you need all of this is if you're like a new business trying to get online, or if you're an established business and you want to have a bigger audience and then you start from scratch online, okay? Most people who are in business will be doing bits and pieces online already. And the majority of people who've been in business for at least 3 to 5 years will have a massive pool of leads if they're doing it properly, they'll be busy, which you can then just start with this magic. Okay? And then if they feel like it and they want to grow their audience, then we go to what we call the goodwill ads. Okay? So that's all for you guys. Anyway, that'll do.